Welcome to Selena. On my way to the gym. Just left work. Thank God we didn't have a meeting after school. So I'm on my way to the gym. Get this workout over with. I have been doing a little bit better on my eating habits. And I've been doing some weight training, some cardio. I've been doing a lot of cardio. So I can kind of slim down a little bit. But I just want to see, if anybody was available. You want to hear what I have to say? Hopefully, I'm not too boring for y'all, because some content creators, especially when they doing random topics, they be kind of boring as hell. So hopefully, I will not be boring. I'll be a little bit entertaining, to kind of keep you. Is this crazy hell for trying to do? I'm sorry. I'm about to get out of it. I don't know what this parent. And of course, she has a hair bonnet on, driving a BMW. But anyway, yeah. So I'm on my way to the gym. So I was thinking about some things. Mental health illness is real, in this society. And we always, seems like society caters to women. We're the weaker vessel. We are, the soft. Well, some of us are hard as a man. Some of us, but most of us are soft. We're easily to get our feelings hurt. We're, so emotional. Hey, CX. We're so emotional, and we think with our feelings and all that kind of crap. I mean, we of course we we go by our feelings is what I mean. As a woman. So when we go through depression, some pregnant women, they'll have postpartum depression. Society caters to women, especially when they have mental illness. People feel more sorry for people that, especially women that struggle with some type of mental illness or disorders or whatever. And I say, with the men, it's kind of like, get over it. You're a man. You're supposed to be hard. You're supposed to be a leader and all of this. So a lot of times society doesn't have grace for men. But I notice a lot of men are going through a lot of mental illness, mental disorders, that they have not been diagnosed. But if they were ever to go seek help, some of them would be surprised what they struggle with. Hey, Cutting Edge. And so I was looking at the football player. I think his name is Rudi. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Johnson. He was 45-year-old African American male, and I believe I don't know if he played for Cincinnati Beagles. I'm not sure, but he was a football player. 45 is relatively young. He was said to unalive himself. I'm not sure why he did it. There still has not been any news on why he did it or whatever. But a lot of times people really don't realize or pay attention to men when they go through depression. Depression is real, and a lot of different people, with different professions, stress can sometimes induce mental disorders. And so I know for teachers, stress can really induce in some type of anxiety. I had a situation today, and I almost really flipped. Just briefly tell you a little bit about it, because this has something to do with how we deal with things and how our mental is at the time. And one thing I don't like about working in a school, the school, and depending on the principal that you have, they go by what the student says. And a lot of the times, some of you that have children, that y'all think is little angels, and and it's good to be a mama bear, papa bear, of your child. But what y'all need to understand is your child is not no angels. And when they go to school, sometimes these kids are different people. Even if you raise your children right, when they come to school, they act like they done left their sense at home. And so teachers go through a lot of stress, just like if it, even like professional athletes go through a lot of stress, depression. Even teachers go through depression and anxiety. So I was thinking today when this happened, and it really pissed me off. This little boy kept getting one of the pencil sharpeners, his personal pencil sharpener, and he was opening and closing back. And we had to, it's like at a certain period on A days, it's A days and B days, we have like club. And so the principal asked me if I could help with a couple of other teachers to help with the theater club. And hey, Mrs. Skinny, how are you? And I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and help or whatever, but I'm thinking to myself, I really, with me teaching inclusion, I'm dealing with a couple of students at a time. So just kind of going back into the classroom, dealing with these badass kids, it can be a little stressful. So I said, we had to work with a club or whatever. So I just went ahead and chose theater. And so as I'm in there or whatever, this little boy opening a pencil sharpener, shouldn't even been playing with it. You in theater class. Hey, Triple X, Mike, and shouldn't have been playing with the darn making noise. The other teacher told them stop. Then I see him. I said, hey, go ahead and put that up. I don't want to play with it. I said, little Hispanic boy. I said, I told you to put it up. See, back when I was in school, when a teacher tell you to do something, you do it, or they that you already know. If they call mama, if they call daddy, you in trouble, right? And so I was sitting up there. I was like, look, I told you to put it up. So he act like he putting it up. Then he get another one. Hey, Rondi. He get another pencil sharpener and start playing with it and throwing it and back and forth in his hand. I said, little boy, put it up. I don't know how many times I told him put up. So then I go over there and I was like, look, I told you to put it up. I said, give me the pencil sharpener. So when I tried to get the pencil sharpener from him, then he's like, you hit me, you pinched me. And then you got these little sassy ass girls over there with their weird ass talking about some little black girls over there. It's like, you hit him. I said, you a lie from the pits of hell. I said, you better shut your mouth. And I said, and you better stop your lying. You and shut your mouth up. You cussed at me. I said, I didn't cuss at you. I told you to shut your mouth up, and you do need to shut up. I said, by the way, let's just go up there to the principal office and let's let the principal talk to you, because I'm not talking to you no more, and you ain't gonna sit up here and lie on me. And I wanted to go off on that little boy. And so everybody was looking, and I said, I don't give a damn. So I go upstairs and I tell the assistant, because the head principal wasn't in her office. And so I tell the assistant principal, and she was like, okay, Miss Williams, calm down. I said, this little liar just lied on me. He sits up here and says that I hit him and that I cussed him out and that he's going to tell his father. And I don't care what you tell your father, because guess what? I got family too. I said, so if your daddy come up here, best to believe my folks gonna come up here. Some men gonna come up here on your ass. I didn't say ass, but I was about to say it, and I had to catch myself. And so she said, Miss Williams, please come down. Then the other administrative assistant, tried to tell me, to calm down or whatever. And so I was just like, yo, I'm like, this little boy don't know me, like, for real. So he got quiet, looking all scared then, because I'm like, yeah, you done got the right one. You sitting up here lying on me. And so anyway, after we, discussed that or whatever, and I wrote down the statement and all that, I just wanted to make sure I was in the clear, because one thing about some of y'all lovely angels, they bad as hell when they go to school. And a lot of times y'all don't realize the teachers be going through stress. Not only do they got to deal with, some honorary kids, when you tell them what to do, they talk back. and you got to deal with that. Plus you got so many kids that got behavior issues. Then you got so many kids that's slow, can't even read, but got the nerve to try to talk back to you. Hey, Linda, how you doing? And so you deal with that. And so teachers are stressed. Most teachers are stressed, and a lot of teachers are getting out of teaching because they can't deal with these badass kids, because the parents be trying to come and fight you. And I wish, and I'm like, y'all might think, oh, just because I'm short or whatever, let a nigga, let a woman or a man try to come up there on me. I look, I'm ready at all times. And like I said, I don't give a damn about some of these what you think and everything about your kid. You love your kid, you take care of your kid, I understand that. But at the end of the day, your kid is not innocent. And a lot of these kids be doing stuff and then be lying about it. And that's why you got so many teachers, a high turnover in education, because they don't want to teach these badass kids, because the parents are silly too. And I'm just gonna keep it real. Some of them parents are silly as hell, and they believe everything they badass kids say when they know good and well their kid is lying. And that's why y'all can't keep good teachers in the school. You got these predator teachers in here, want to sleep with you and touch on your kids. But when the good teachers, they get burnt out because they get sick of having to tell your kid to sit your ass down, but we can't say that, or be quiet, do your work, be quiet, do your work. You got to keep doing that. So all this is stressful. And then you got to think about, like, a lot of people, like the people unaliving themselves is going rampant. It's like a high percentage of that. And so when you see like celebrities and these athletes like Rudi Johnson sit up here and they unalive themselves, you don't know what them people are going through. And sometimes when they are in that life, they feel like they gotta keep measuring up to something, and when they don't measure up to something, then they feel like they are a failure in life. And to some of us, it's like, that's no excuse, but you don't know people's psyche. You don't know what people are going through. And so that's all I'm saying about, you got to take mental health real. And that's why I said, when society caters to women, because they feel like, of course we could compared to a man in a lot of different ways, and we are very emotional. But at the end of the day, men have problems too. They have things going on in their mind. They have like depression. They have times where they feel like failure. They have times in their life where they don't feel like they measure up to be a father, to be a husband, to just be a man. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tell other men how they feel, but we all human. And I know if I struggle with certain things, I know more than likely a man might struggle with certain things too. Everybody trying to measure up to what we see on Instagram, what we see on YouTube or TV. Everybody wants to try to measure up, and when we don't, we feel like a failure. And some people, they get so down in the dumps and they don't reach out because they feel like they should be strong enough, that they're ashamed to go and get help, because they feel like, well, I don't want people to see what I'm going through. I don't want people to know how I really feel. So they keep it, and then you find out later on that they done unalive themselves. And it happens to the best of people. It happens to preachers. It happens to celebrities. It happens to people that play sports, athletes. It happens to teachers. It happens to a whole bunch of people, a mirage of people with all different types of occupations. It don't matter. Mental illness does not have a name. It don't have a face. It's faceless. And anybody can struggle. So don't look down on people when they do things, or they lose it, or they get so depressed, or they have so much anxiety just living, because it's hard out here. And if you don't have a support system, if you don't have like people that's really there for you, if you don't have any sense of purpose and value in your life, you'll fall for anything. You'll fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel hopeless. And what this world is today is it seems like to me a lot of people feel hopeless. And that's why they do what they do. because they feel like they have no outlet, nobody to try to understand them, because they put on a front like they gotta be so much, like they gotta be so strong. And sometimes, whether you a man or a woman or a child or a teenager, you're not gonna always be strong all the time. We don't all have our weak moments. Well, hell, we just tired. We just tired of trying. We just want to give up, and it is what it is. My thing is, when, hello Mars, my thing is, when I'm there, I don't stay there. I always come back up fighting, because I understand I'm not meant to give up. That's not in my DNA. I was always a fighter, literally and not literally. So I've always kept going, hey action, regardless of how I felt. What a lot of times is people, and I put it to my, I honor, I'm gonna say my faith has something to do with it, my spirituality, but more than anything, because I had a sense of value from my family. See, when you have a sense of value from your family, if you have some type of sense of purpose for living, you're not gonna give up that easily. Keep fighting until you get to where you try, till you reach your goals. And this is not no good inspirational Instagram quotes and all of that. This is real life. This is real time, where people going through stuff and they want to feel like giving up, or they feel like stress is just too much. I'm just tired. I want to hide up under a rock. I just want to disappear. And some people don't, some people will never admit it. I've been there. I just don't stay there. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, some of the most, you would think the strongest people, the richest people, the prettiest people don't deal with it. But we see here a man that had so much to live for. He was 45 years old, relatively young. He was a former football player, and I'm pretty sure he was getting his retirement, so he was getting some money. He could have done so much with his life, but because he just gave up, hey, Mr. Bishop, because he just gave up, he couldn't see the end of the rainbow. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't see the purpose that was still in his life. Anytime you wake up in the morning, you're not done. God not through with you yet. You still here because God want to do something in you. That man was 45 years old. He could have been helping young men to play football, or to show them how to build character, so they can not only be good athletes, but they could be sportsmen, have a good sportsman attitude, know how to deal with people, know how to deal with teammates, how to conduct themselves as young men, not just athletes, because a lot of people, they'll teach you how to be an athlete, but they don't teach you how to have good character. Because some of these coaches don't, some of these folks that try to, they don't have good character. So this is what people, when they lose a sense of purpose, they have that hopelessness that comes in. And again, I ain't trying to preach to nobody, because I got my own stuff going on, and I'm telling you, at times I do struggle. I'm telling you, I do struggle. And I do want to go and just go straight up ignorant and go off and really tell people how I really feel at work, and beat some of them kids and do a lot of stuff that I have no business doing. You understand? So I'm not trying to be so inspirational, but not be realistic, because a lot of people that do that kind of stuff, they just be doing a lot of talking. Hey, Taryn. They just be doing a lot of talking. Oh, about Jesus and the Lord, and ain't been through nothing. See, it's easy to talk about stuff when you ain't been through nothing. It's easy to make something sound good when you ain't really been through nothing, had no hard times, and really been through some situations where you had to lean on your faith, where you had to lean on people to help you to get out of your rut. See, it's too many, hey riders, it's too many fake people around here preaching and teaching, and they ain't really using it and applying it to their life. Do you know how many times I want to go come on here and act a damn fool and really let it all out, let it rip? I'm talking about tearing in somebody. I'm talking about ripping somebody's soul out, ripping somebody's heart out of their chest. Do you know how many times I wanted to just go ballistic? But because I had people that supported me in my real life, because I have a sense of purpose, I know I can't just come out here and just act any kind of way. What's up, Rich? And I just don't like, I mean, and so I'm not going to be one of these inspirational quotes. Oh, I'm just take it to the Lord, and just pray about it. And God, I'm made in God's image. I'm wonderfully and fearfully made, and they ain't living about it. See, it's a lot of folks that be on here doing that inspirational stuff, but when it comes to a heart change and really putting in the work to be the person that you need to be, they don't do it. See, a lot of folks want to act like they got it all together, but they don't forget all the BS that they did to somebody else. They don't forgot that they done lied on people, that they tried to ruin people's reputation, and want to sit up there and give some inspiration to somebody when they butts ain't even living by what they say. But I'm here to tell you that mental illness is real. I'm here to tell you that you can get help and that you don't have to give up, because I understand it. I'm going through it. See, a lot of the times people put on a front, just like this man, Rudi Johnson. I bet people did not know he was going through what he was going through, probably because he didn't feel safe to share it. And even if he did, he felt weak for even being vulnerable to share that, because some men feel like they supposed to be the strong one all the time. And at the end of the day, none of us are strong again all the time. Sometimes it is what it is, but I'm so thankful. Number one, I don't care what nobody say. I was raised up in the church. Now I struggle a lot, but I was raised in the church. So it gave me, even though everybody in the church ain't trying to do right, even though a lot of them full of, manure, I'm glad that I was raised in the church, because it gave me some type of foundation. And that's why I can't go around doing whatever the hell I want to do just because I want to do it. That's why I learned, even by going to church and dealing with life, how to have faith even when I want to give up. That's why somebody can't tell me what I'm talking about is bullshit, because I deal with it. I work in my faith. I deal with my faith every day. Just to get out of the bed in the morning is faith. Just to go to work every morning and deal with badass kids and crazy teachers is faith. Okay? Just to keep going, regardless of how bad I feel some days, is faith. So I'm not preaching and teaching and trying to act all super spiritual when I know my faith is fake. So it's just amazing to me how a lot of people want to act like they're so super spiritual, and they want to judge people when people have weak moments. And a lot of times, if it wasn't for the grace of God, if it wasn't for people in my corner that I trust and that I love, if it wasn't for my faith, hey, I would be gone too. Because sometimes in life, we all have our weak moments and we just are tired. Let's just keep it real. Life ain't always sweet all the time. Sometimes life is just downright bittersweet. And some days we just don't want to deal with it. Now, for some people, they may not want to unalive themselves. That's, they are strong mentally. But even people that are strong mentally, they get tired sometimes. Right? And yes, church girls are the freakiest ones. I wasn't one of them though. Hey CC. But yeah, so I just really had to say that because people want to judge people, and I still feel like when people unalive themselves, it can look like the cowardly way to go out. I'm not gonna lie to you. But at the end of the day, when I have been through life and I'm going through life and I've experienced some things and I experienced some bad days and some low days, I start to be less judgmental of what people do, because I understand that everybody's not like me. Everybody doesn't have a support system like me. Everybody doesn't have faith. Everybody doesn't have that same type of determination to get through. So it makes me give people grace and less judgmental, because I understand that some days, sometimes enough is enough and you just want it all to go away, right? So we have to stop downing men for having some low days, and stop saying just pull yourself by the bootstraps and move on. Just like I said, at the end of the day, men are human too. And society really caters to women that struggle with mental illness, but they don't do it for men. And at the end of the day, men struggle too. And some men, they struggle so silently, you won't even know what they're going through, because they keep everything inside until you find out they unalive themselves. Just like Mr. Rudi Johnson. Very nice looking man. I don't know if he was a father, a husband, but just think about if this man had a wife and children, and to do that, how devastating that would be. Right? How devastating that is. It was a story that I heard of last year. Another teacher was telling me her friend son was going through some marital problems with his wife at the time, and there was some cheating going on her end, and he was going through some type of manic depression, and he went through some type of manic behavior, to where he ended up getting a gun in front of her while his kids were right in front of him as well. And he was saying, well, I'll just shoot myself right now. And the woman, his wife, said, go ahead. Do you know that man shot himself in front of his wife and his kids? See, people really be going through some things, and you don't know what's going on with people mental. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Even the ones you think is strong ain't that strong. And so, and that's improper. That's not the proper English, but I'm just saying they ain't. Okay, there's some people that's just not strong mentally. And they take things into their own hands. This man shot himself in front of his wife and his two little small children. So this, like I said, mental illness is real out here. It's really real out here. And that's why when I see men, I don't ever think, oh, they got it all together, that nothing's going on with them. They might be smiling, but you don't know what that man going through. So if you are a spouse or you have a significant other and he seems like he's strong, don't take it as, for face value. Ask him, how are you? What's really going on? How are you really feeling? Some men go through so many personal traumas when they was growing up as little boys. You will not know what some of these men have encountered and what they've dealt with. Some of these men have been through some molestation. They have been through so much sexual abuse from other men. They're confused about their sexuality. They want to be straight, but they struggle between their attraction between men and women. And that plays on a man's psyche sometimes, especially when they have been molested as a young boy. And then you have some men that have had wounds of not having a father in their life that's really pouring into their life. They feel abandoned. They feel rejection. See, a lot of these men be dealing with stuff and you have no idea. There's some men that I think that is just, they, they got it all going on. They're funny. They're, they always, try to have fun and make every, like, the life of the party. Them be the ones that be ready to unalive themselves. And you was just saying them like they seemed like they was good. What happened? And this why you can never just take people face value. You can never just walk away, especially when you close to people, and just be like, oh, they all right. Ask your man, ask your husband, ask your guy friend or a homeboy, what's really going on with you. Now, some of them may not tell you everything, because again, men are taught to be strong and keep stuff to themselves because they don't want to come off weak. But I would always say, try. Get to know your man. Get to know your husband. Get to know your friend. See what's really going on with them. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Right, Mars. Hey, Chill. Hey, Russell. Men struggle just like women. And you see this young man, 45 years old, had the world at one point in his hand. And then once the fame goes away, once the everybody calling your name and all the women is gone, then you got to deal with you. And sometimes men go through a deep depression just like women. They go through a deep depression and they just say, you know what? I can't take this anymore. Men struggle silently. They do. And you won't know it until it happens. Because most men are prone to go ahead and go through with unaliving themselves than women. Statistically. They go through with it where women attempt. But men, once they have made it up in their mind, they actually do it. Right? So we can never... I'm doing good, Jeff. I hope you're doing well. We can never think that men are just too strong. They don't need us. They don't need somebody that they can talk to, because they do. At the end of the day, they need someone too. And some men have put on so many layers. They have to be the player. They got to be the pimp. They got to be the strong man. They got to be the best father. They got to have all the money and all this. So they feel like they have a lot of different pressures, just like us women, And so this is why I stop judging so much and really just get to know people sometimes, because you'll find out that everything that seems good is not always good, So I just say, with the situation, with Rudy, I don't know if it's with this, was it CTE? It's some type of brain disorder that most athletes, especially football players, it does something to the brain. It alters the brain to make them, have different type of mood swings, maybe some type of depressive disorder. I'm not necessarily sure. Hey, Real Odds, I'm not really sure about the diagnosis of what CTE does to the brain. But, most athletes, especially if they play football, they do struggle with it, But, my point of saying all of this is most of us, we all struggling some type of way. Some of us may be struggling financially. Some people may be struggling physically. Some people may be struggling mentally. Some people may be struggling and I don't know if I said emotionally, spiritually. Like, we all have some type of struggle at the end of the day, And so, like I said, not only do women need help at times, men need help too. Men go through so many things just like a woman. It's just different because, we're different sexes. So a man may experience certain things that a woman will not, and vice versa, So, but we can never take it as a man's gonna be okay. Oh, he gonna be all right. He a man. He can do it. Yeah, but at the end of the day, the man has that little boy in him, just like that woman has that little girl in them. It's still there. They're just grown. They got a adult body, but at the end of the day, it's still a little boy in there, right? So don't take things people for face value. Sometimes people really be struggling, and if you care about people, if you really care about the people that surround you, people that have been around you, whether it's your family, close friend, whether it could be a co-worker, somebody you hang out with, ask people how they really doing instead of just saying, "Oh, how you doing? Okay, well, bye." Because you just being polite, but it's really not. You really don't care how they're really doing sometimes. That's why I really try to, when people come here, I really do be thankful, because a lot of times, honey, if it ain't drama, if you ain't twerking, people don't want to hear what you got to say. And I'm not one of those people that just want to come on here and just talk a whole bunch of mess and a whole bunch of inspirational YouTube and Instagram quotes to make you feel better about your life for a couple of seconds. I really want to give you some real talks about what I'm dealing with and what I'm getting through, because it's real to me. Hey, Carl, I had somebody say she can't tell me ish. I said, and baby, I ain't trying to tell you, okay, I'm trying to do better. I ain't trying to tell you a darn thing. I don't care nothing about you. I'm telling you what I've been through, and if it can help somebody that's willing to listen to it, that's who my audience is. So I could give a rat's fat big butt what you got to say, because my message is not for your trifling ass. It's for the person that it will help, you know? So I just had to say that. But anyway, I just want to be able to be a help to other people and not just talk a lot of BS. And like I said, to make people feel good for a split second. I just want people to know that not only you may be going through things, but you're not going through things by yourself. It's somebody going through things just like you and worse. I was telling people today, a couple of friends, I think about the things that's not going great in my life, or the things that I wish I could have. Instead of me doing that, I started thanking God for the things I do have. Being grateful. Whether you thank God, whether you thank the universe, whether you thank yourself, be grateful for what you have. Be grateful. It's somebody that don't have what you have. And so when people lose focus and they lose purpose, they forget to be grateful. And being grateful can change your mind, can change your situation in a minute. Now, your situation might not physically change, but your attitude about life will sure get a lot better. And you'll start being a little bit more happier and content with what you have. See, I'm content that I got a place to stay that I can afford. I'm content that I have a car to drive, even though it's not my ideal car. I don't have to get on the bus. And even if you did get on the bus, be grateful you have the money to get on there. I'm grateful that I have people that love me and like me. I'm grateful that I can walk and I got my right mind for the most part. I'm grateful that, things could be a lot worse, but thank God it's not. So those are the things that change my mind about what I don't have, because I understand what I do have is so much more important. Hey, Deborah. So when people lose themselves in distractions and lose themselves in life and become hopeless and lack purpose, that's when you'll find a lot of times you'll sink into depression. And when you sink into depression, if you go a little too far, you might make a decision, a permanent decision for a temporary problems. So you have to sometimes find a way to get out of your depression, get yourself together, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and find ways to get out of your depression. That's what I did, and that's what I'm doing. I get my fat ass in the gym and work out some of that stress and work out some of that, whatever I got going on, get it out. So at least I'll be looking toned and good and healthy, right? I start going out and engaging with people, getting out of my comfort zone is another thing you could do. A lot of people, they say, I don't like people. Hey, R&B, I don't like people. Well, you got to like somebody because you're going to need somebody, right? So sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone in your everyday, you just boring life of paying bills and going to work, you know? And so I started doing things in my life that makes my life better. Number one, I told you, was to be grateful because I could be in a place a lot worse. Number two, I learned to find hobbies and things to help my mind, my body, and my soul. So I even get into meditation. I get into prayer. I start working on my personal life. I start focusing on those type of things. Hey, forever. Right. So people want to talk about all the fake spirituality, but when it come down to it, all that fake spirituality, you're going to have to be able to use it for your own life. So talking about it and not being about it is not helping you or anybody else at the end of the day. So I started making my faith real to me. How can I get out of this situation? Well, first of all, I got to find strategies and goals to get out of it. What can I do? What is in my power to do? Faith without works is dead. If those people that read the Bible, they would know that. So if you got faith, but you ain't got no works, I'm sorry. You're not going to get anywhere with that. So learn to find strategies, and you don't need no gold strategists because some of them can't figure out their life either. They just as messed up and toe up as you. A lot of things that we need is within us. Hey, sir. So, like I said, find strategies that will help you get out of your situation. Be real with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Know where you are emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Quit lying to not only your other people, but yourself. When you look in the mirror, you should, if you can't tell yourself the truth in the mirror, I don't know what to tell you. You're lost. And you need to find a way to connect back with you again. One thing that helps me is spending time off of social media. It helps me to get back to me. It helps me to enjoy the life that I have and quit trying to put on a front like I got it going on and everything is just wonderful when we know it's not. So you just have to be realistic. And a lot of people that do a lot of these inspirational, motivational coach and you can do this and oh, you're wonderfully and fearfully made in God's image and they, just do this and their life is jacked up. No. Start with you first and quit looking for other people. See where you are. Stop lying to yourself. Take accountability. If you messed up, hell, you just messed up. And that's just what it is. Find ways to get out of your rut. Find ways. You might have to sometimes get out of your comfort zone and find some people that's really for you. I know that's hard for some of us. Hey, Miss Collins. Because some of us, a lot of these people around here, if you like me, I'm looking at everybody side-eyed until I know maybe down the line, okay, I can let my guard down just a tad bit more. Because I look at everybody's side out. I'm going to be honest with you. You already guilty before you did anything sometimes. I got to work on it. But I did find that I am allowing myself to get to know certain people. Because you got to let your guard down just a little bit for somebody to get in. And once a person has proven themselves to be a decent, okay person, then hey, it's nothing wrong with sharing some of the things that you're feeling, especially if it's somebody you can vent to. Now, everybody you can't vent to because everybody don't want to hear it, and some people don't have the patience or the capability to be a person that you can vent to. And that's just real talk. Doesn't mean that they're not wonderful people. It just means they don't have it to give. Right? So I have found a few people that I can say, you know what? I can let my guard down just a tad bit. I got some family. I can let my guard down because some family is messed up too, y'all. I don't know about y'all. I got a good family, but hey, it's still sometimes some people they suspect. But even some family, you can't just really, just be vulnerable with. So you got to find some people, even in your family, that you can be just let down your guard just a tad bit. At the end of the day, why so many people lose hope? Because they are alone. They're lonely and they feel alone. You know what I'm saying? They can be around a whole group of people and still be alone. They can still be lonely. You know what I'm saying? So we can never take for granted when people have smiling faces, because as soon as they smile at you and they walk away, they're going back to really their depressed state, how they really feel. But it's okay, because I gotta put on a smile and let everybody know I'm the life of the party and everything is great, and I just have a wonderful life. I'm traveling, I got a beautiful woman, I got a nice looking man, I'm doing things in life, and hey, I gotta put on a smile. But when that everything goes away and you're by yourself at home and you're looking up at the ceiling because your girlfriend or your wife ain't around, and you looking up at the ceiling and you trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with me. I got everything and I'm still not happy. I still don't have peace. That's really what people be. I mean, and it be the people you least expect that got it going on, in your opinion. At least what they show you. Because everybody puts on a front sometimes. Everybody puts on a mask and shows you their representative instead of the real person. Everybody has done it. And some people do it religiously. They do it every day. So I just said, this year is different for me. It's I'm growing a lot in some different areas. I still got a lot to grow. I still got a lot to do, but I'm starting to be a little bit more real with who I am, and being authentic with the process of who I'm becoming and where I am. I'm not where I need to be, but I'm definitely not where I used to be. And I still have some things about me, some ways about me that I know I gotta change, and that I'm in the process of changing, because I'm making it up in my mind that I'm going to do it. See, I saw something today that somebody had put up, and of course, it was, my name was in it, right? And this person had said, fix a flat. And I was like, I wanted to go in and just be like, you triple neck Whataburger bitch, you two belly stomach bitch, you lopside head bitch. I want to go in. I'm just gonna be honest with you, and forgive me for just being real. I really want to go in. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? That's the past. Gotta let it go. I gotta let it go. Just like I was telling you about that little boy that lied. I gotta let it go. But I'm like, that little boy better not cross me. And I told the other teacher, keep him away from me. Because I would hurt that little boy. And let me be quiet. So anyway, you have to let it go. Hey, Alan. Yeah, but I'm just being honest, right? So I wanted to go there. And a lot of times I want to go there because people are disrespectful and they don't give a darn about them being disrespectful. And they do it because they're on the internet. They do it because they feel like they can and get away with it. Because I can't, I can, but I'm not going to waste no money to get on a plane to come and see you. You know, so I just, you go through those moments, so you have to be real with yourself. And that's how I know I have grown, because what I would have done maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, my response is totally different from that. It's like, you know what, these people don't know me. These people they don't have an ideal of who I am. They think they know me, but they don't know me. So I'm going to let it go, because it's really not worth it at the end of the day. Proving to people that don't give a damn about knowing the real you anyway. They just want to speculate and assume and lie and judge. So what can you do? But see, that old me was about to come back, and I said, nope, I came a long way. I ain't going back. I ain't going back. And for some of you that want me to use proper English, I am not going back. you know so you become real with yourself, and you start to understand some of the things that you got to deal with, some of the things you won't deal with, and then you kind of figure out, oh, okay, yeah, I got this to work on, because I will snap. I got this to work on. So I always find ways, what can I do better than I did yesterday, because to me that's reality. For me, I don't feel like if I have bad behavior that it's okay because it's me. No, if it's affecting me, if it's affecting my spiritual, my emotional health, my mental health, I gotta work on it. If it's affecting my relationships with other people, I gotta work on it. I can't just say, well, it's me and people gotta accept it, because people don't have to accept anything. People don't even have to be nice to you. People don't even have to have you in their life. So either you get your stuff together, or you stay alone and die with cats and dogs, you know? So it's all good. I just wanted to tell you that people do be struggling with mental health issues. Don't be so quick to judge people about how they handle situations, because you just don't know what kind of trauma people are dealing with. And it's not that I'm making an excuse for people, because I do believe that there's different ways to handle things, but that's me. And me and another person are two total different people. So I can't tell people what they should do. I just hope and pray that I can be a vessel that can help somebody to be like, hey, don't give up. Just don't give up. You just never know what you miss out on when you take your life. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I hope to do for someone else, because I have been there. Not to the point to where I wanted to take my life, but I've been to the point where I just didn't want to wake up in the morning. But I knew that that wasn't okay for me to stay there, so I didn't stay there, because I understood at the end of the day I got a purpose, and I have people. I have plenty of people that love me, right? That like me. And I had an uncle, before he passed, he said, Selena, you are loved by many. And that meant so much to me. And he told me that, I think it was in 2018. It could have been 2017 before he got, really ill. But when he told me that, It gave me a sense of purpose and a value in my life that I didn't really pay attention to before. And sometimes in life, we don't pay attention to the blessings we actually have in front of us. I didn't pay attention to the fact that I really had people that was down for me, that loved me unconditionally, that even when I wasn't my best and acting like a damn fool, I still had people to love and pour into my life and not give up on me. I didn't pay attention to that. I was blind to that because I was looking at what I didn't have. And then I started, when he said that, that made so much more sense to me, that it gave me a sense of value and a purpose about my life, that I said, you know what, I may feel like I don't want to wake up in the morning, but I'm so thankful that I did. I'm so glad that God gave me another chance to get it right. I'm so glad that God gave me another chance to hug my people, to have good experiences in my life, and even the painful ones. At least I know I'm not numb. At least I know I'm not just here, that I actually feel. I actually learn to have compassion and empathy and sympathy for other people because I've been through some things. See, that's why I say nobody can tell me on this damn internet who I am, because I know who I am and I know what I've been through. So I could give a rat's fat ass about what opinion you have of me and who you think I am, because you have no idea. I mean, none. Only when you've been through something and walked in people's shoes, you can actually tell somebody who they are and what they've been through. And nobody can do that. Right, CX. You said, wow, a young guy, 45, grew up around, just deleted himself Sunday morning. Right. And this is happening more and more. And the percentage of men, I told you, is higher than women, because men actually go through with it. Women just attempt for the first time. They might succeed the second time, but men, when they plan on unaliving themselves, they actually do it and they succeed. And it's a high percentage of black men that are unaliving themselves. A lot of these black men don't have fathers, never had a father. And you say, well, grow up. And they do. There's times in a man's life, in a woman's life, you have to just learn to just move on, because you won't ever get your mama or your daddy to love you. And that's just what it is. Some of us just had lousy parents that didn't know how to love, because they didn't love themselves and they wasn't taught. But at the end of the day, you an adult and you still responsible for you moving on. You still responsible for your healing. You still responsible for your own life. And my condolence to you, CX. And like I said, with the young man, Rudi Johnson, I don't know if he was a good athlete or not. Some people say he was. But obviously, he had a lot to offer. But he gave up so fast, he didn't get to see how his life could have helped somebody else. Because again, we don't live life just for us. We live life for others too. So when we stop being so selfish and just looking at having a great life for ourselves, and actually learn to help and put something into somebody else's life, we might end up feeling fulfilled and having hope and purpose in our life. But if we so busy bullcorning, as my dad would say, around just living life for us, a selfish life, we never have a fulfilling life, never really have a peaceful life, because it's all about us and our happiness. We'll never feel fulfilled. So I would say find strategies for you to get yourself out of the rut. You have to spend some time to get to know how to do those things. And how you do that is basically being by yourself and seeing what you need to do. Don't be afraid to be by yourself and see, what do I need to do for my life? I know my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my husband, my wife, I know, they need my time and all this and stuff, but what do I need to do for me? What's gonna bring value and purpose in my life? What's gonna give me, an identity of my own where I can feel like I am valuable with or without someone, right? So I hope that I did or say something that could help you guys. I'm not sure, but I do hope that I really express how everybody experiences bad days. Everybody experiences some type of mental issues, whether it's a mental illness, a mental disorder, or maybe it's just something you may be going through emotionally and you just don't know how to handle it. There's a lot of different outlets that you can look into. You can look into counseling, you can look into prayer, you can look into some type of spirituality, you can look into meditation or hobbies or getting around people that are fulfilling, that are fun, finding something where you can help somebody else and not just be focusing on getting your life. And because when you help other people and you pour into other people's life, sometimes you don't realize it's going to actually give you a life and make your life fulfilling too. So it's kind of like a it comes back double fold. When you pouring into somebody's life, you'll get it as well. You said I've learned live. Okay, I've learned live in present moments rather than dwelling on the future because tomorrow is never right. Right, call right, CX. So we all have our things, and again, I'm not trying to be super spiritual. I'm just not. And if anybody takes it that way, you haven't listened to anything that I said. You're just judging, and you're already looking at it in a negative way, and that's on you. So a lot of people get into because they won't listen to the message because of the messenger. But the fact of the matter is, I've experienced a lot as well in my life, and the stuff that I'm telling you about is because I'm living through it. It's not because I have it all together. It's not because I'm putting on a front and acting like I got it, and I'm just so super spiritual that I'm perfect and I'm close to Jesus and I'm walking on water. But if you take it that way, that's on you. I just know that for me, I'm a work in progress, and I take accountability where I need to take accountability, and what I don't need to take accountability for, I let it go. And sometimes I let people go. And so if a person is not good for me, block. If a person is, I don't need to deal with a person, block, 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 block. If I don't want, if you're not anything that will be a blessing in my life but a distraction, block. So I am just learning in life, everybody that start with you ain't gonna end with you, and I'm perfectly fine with it. So I hope that you guys got something from what I was saying. Y'all be blessed. Press the like button. And the next time, like I say, bless a sister with a super chat. I would have really appreciated because I'm gonna be honest with you. I love to talk sometimes, but it takes a lot of work to come up with some type of ideas. And some people may not think this is good content, but it's better than me just cussing people out and yelling at the top of my lungs and looking like a buffoon. So I'm trying to do the best that I can with giving you some type of insight, or giving you some type of informative information, or giving you some type of encouragement. And it takes work doing that, thinking of that, especially me putting it in my schedule. And so I would appreciate it every now and then. Y'all come in and bless if you can. But if you can, I understand that too. I do appreciate y'all presence. I appreciate those that subbed up to me. And I hope that if you haven't subbed up, that you would like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Now, thank you so much. I'm about to go in this gym and work on, do some cardio and work on my glutes, so my butt can look even faker, because you know they so busy looking at my tail, my butt that so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna make it even faker. I'm gonna get in this gym and get them glutes up, and it's gonna be like a table where you can just put anything on it. So I'm getting up in the gym, and I'm gonna be getting myself together, so when fall come in, I won't be looking like a Teletubby. I'll be looking fine, and healthy, and like I said, a booty would like a table. So I'll talk to you guys later. Love y'all to Reese's Pieces, and I'm out. Bye.